Well, back home on Dalal Street, it was a range-bound session with low volumes. The Nifty reclaimed the 10,900 mark, led by a sharp spike in the last hour of trade, while the Sensex rallied about 0.5% amongst the broader markets. Mid-cap saw profit booking, and the index ended flat with a positive bias. Banks saw a big uptick in the last hour to reclaim the 27,400 mark. So, Nigel, tell us, what are the market cues that we need to watch out for today?
Well, as you said, yesterday was a good trading session. Whoever was trading, they appeared rather bullish, and particularly the kind of spike we saw in the final hour of trade yesterday. So the Nifty ended higher. If you pull up the intraday chart, the Nifty Bank as well was a relative outperformer. The Nifty was up close to 0.5%. The Nifty Bank was up nearly around 1%. That's telling you that the banking stocks did very, very well. I think you should pull up a contribution chart because technically the Nifty ended above the 10,900 mark. We also, conquered the 100 DMA on a closing basis. The top stocks, the top three stocks that were contributing yesterday were from banks and financials. HDFC Twins did their part as well. So it was a rather good day. But importantly, the 100 DMA, that's a bit of a crucial mark. And in yesterday's trading session, on a closing basis, we did close above that level. But if you're looking at, the screen and you're looking at the indices that did the best, they were, some of the weaker performers actually. The PSU Banking Index, that was up more than 1.5%. The Realty Index as well. So now you track that very, very closely. You know what's happening on the ground. But that index as well was up close to around 2% in yesterday's trading session. And no worries in terms of the breadth of the market. More than 3 stocks were advancing for every 2 stocks that were declining. The problem, though, there are 2 problems today. One is that the auto sales numbers, they haven't been looking good. We got, a bit of a trailer yesterday in terms of Maruti. Those numbers didn't look great. Exports as well had slowed down out there. And Mahindra, I think that's the big one in there. There's a big contraction in terms of, tractor volumes. And normally the auto sales are the first indication of any kind of slowdown. Now, whether or not this is just a one-off, we'll have to, keep an eye out on that factor. But clearly, Mahindra was down 3.5% yesterday. It ended virtually at the low point of the day when the markets were up and about. That's a bit of a worry. And I'm sure you're going to give us more auto sales numbers that came overnight. And they as well looked quite disappointing. That's point number 1. Point number 2 is the GST collections. They, in fact, have come in lower than the 95,000 crores. As it is, we were running at a bit of a deficit. And this number doesn't look good at all. We would have at least liked a 98,000 crore or to a 1 lakh crore number. So both those two are the 2 problem pockets. Yesterday, barely any trades coming in from institutions. So, flows were on the lower side. But I was looking at the Nifty futures. Oh, there the premium came down by around 4 points, 50 points, or you can't read much into it because volumes are so low. And if we're looking at the FIs, what did they do? They unwound some long positions and they added short positions. Nothing really to worry. Some marginal unwinding of longs is what we saw because they're still net long on the index, 52% of the trades out there. The SGX Nifty now is indicating, 40-50 point bump up. But as we told you earlier, you need to compare that number with what happened with the Nifty futures. And if you now adjust it, in fact, it's indicating a flattish to a marginally negative start just to kickstart trade. Finally, crucial resistance level, 10,950 to 11,000. In the last 10 days odd, we have seen that level get rejected a couple of times. So keep that in mind. And also, we have seen a big rally from 10,535 all the way to around 10,900 odd. So that's about trade setup. But Sonal, we always work in partnership, you and me. So you're going to tell me today all the stocks that are on the news today.
Absolutely, Nigel. Well, you were talking about the auto sales and they look disappointing, very disappointing in fact. Starting with Eicher Motors, the company has reported a decline of around 13% in its sales for the month of December. They came in at 58,278 units. So not looking very good as far as Eicher Motors is concerned. And same is the story with Tata Motors. The domestic sales, that declined by around 8% at 50,440 units. And the company says that the consumer sentiment, that is still very, very weak. And they also say the high interest rates and rising costs are what actually impacted the sales for the month of December. VST Tillers, a weak show yet again. The power tiller sales have come in at 1,353 units versus 3,000 units. So basically they've halved. And the tractor sales also quite flattish at around 600 odd units. Other stocks that I'm watching out for, one of them is Chambal Fertilizers. The company has informed the exchanges that they have commenced commercial production of Gadapen plant and they will be producing urea there with a capacity of 1.34 million metric tons. So that is some positive news coming in there. Dredging Corporation, we have been talking about the stock so often now, and now they have informed the exchanges that there is no reason and no information which may have bearing because of which the stock has been surging so much in past few days. LIC Housing Finance says that their chairman VK Sharma has resigned, so some dampener might be for the stock today. Coal India has reported its monthly monthly production numbers, while the coal production that has come in lower, quite flattish actually. It is at 54.13 million tons. That compares with 54.63 million tons the year gone by. The offtake, that is lower by 1.2%. Jet Airways, that stock will be in focus yet again. Well, they have been they have had this problems of higher debt, and now they have informed the exchanges that the interest and principal installment payment due to lenders on 31st of December has been delayed, and payment to lenders is delayed due to temporary cash flow mismatch. But definitely some dampener coming in for the stock today.
Okay, all right. So Sonal told us that, auto sales numbers on the whole weren't very, very great. And I was telling you that, in fact, the other problem is the GST collection.